Okay. Hi everybody. This is my first ever YouTube live and on my channel, and I'm really excited. It's weird. So whether anybody logs on or not, I'm still gonna do it. So I've been meaning to do this for a while, and the nature of my time with you is definitely going to be about um, living abroad as Black people in the diaspora. What does it look like to celebrate? So I think the thumbnail, the advertisement for the episode shared, birthdays, holidays, and racism. What a trifecta, right? Um, and I'm really just trying to get my bearings right now because, if you don't know, I currently reside in Beijing, China. I have been here this is the start of my 5th year. Um, who is knocking on my door? Like, what? Hold on, y'all. What the hell? What about it? All right. Give me somebody else's package again. Hello? Here. Is this mine? No. Y'all, I am so sorry. So glad that just happened. So delivery, they call them quadi out here. Just came to my door. Another incorrect package mailed to my door. So I'm gonna start with a little bit of stress um, on this live, and so I apologize in advance. Um, One of the things that Black people have to contend with, not only in the United States, but living abroad as well, is racism. In fact, over the 21 plus episodes of my show, The Black Expat Experience, that I have recorded, one of the through lines and main reasons that Black people have left the U.S. permanently, temporarily, whatever, is because one of the major reasons is because of racism, right? And how things seem to be getting worse. Their mental health has been affected. Job prospects may not be where they'd like them to be, but racism is a huge factor. And so I had an experience, a very harrowing experience, the other day. So this is in alignment with my birthday. I just celebrated my 41st birthday on September 26th, and out here right now in Beijing, we're celebrating the national holiday, so what we call Golden Week. We get a whole week off. This year is different. The school that I work for as a counselor is giving us. We have to go back to work tomorrow, essentially, because we get to have. Sorry, like everything's falling apart today. We have a shortened break so we can have more time to go home because I haven't been home since October 2020 because of China's restrictions. Whole nother story. And so I'm gonna try not to be long winded. I'm sorry, y'all. Like my mouth is just tripping. I'm gonna try not to be long winded as I share this experience, but I think it's important. One of the key things I've had with interviews is for people to really understand what is your motivation for leaving the States or wherever your home country is. Are you running from something, or are you seeking to run toward something? Or is it a mixture of both, right? I wasn't necessarily running from racism in America, because it's everywhere. Anti-Black racism is everywhere. But to reel it back in, because I can be tangential, um, I took a staycation during this holiday because we can't travel outside of Beijing. Bummer. I went to the Intercontinental, had a great experience. It was amazing. Was able to really kind of reconnect with myself. And while I was there, well, before that, I received packages from a friend, wanted to celebrate me for my birthday. So she sent me something, cluster of packages at my door. And I obviously opened them all. Some of the items didn't look like anything that I would like or wear. And I, reached out to her. Was this what you sent me? She's like, no, I hadn't sent you my stuff yet. But okay. So maybe the delivery guy is going to come back and pick up the things that he mistakenly dropped off at my door. So while I'm on vacation, and I'm going to try not to go into every detail, while I'm on staycation, I get a message from the delivery guy that to see if I, picked up a package or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I did get it. I noticed that that's not something that I like. It wasn't mine. He shares that it was my neighbor's, someone who has never had a conversation with me, never spoken to me, seen me plenty of times, vice versa. And I needed to return it. Cool. No issue. I'm not a thief, never raised to be that. I'll give it to her when I return home. Well, they continue to message me, disrupting my peace. And the delivery guy gave my neighbor my phone number. So she started to message me. And one, that's an privacy. I'm like, so not only did I tell y'all the first time I'll bring it to her when I get home, that doesn't give you license to keep harassing me and to give my information to somebody that I don't know. I'll let her know. Yes, I have the items there at my door. I'll bring them to you whenever I return home. Well, when are you coming home? Not your business. Boundaries, lady. When I get home, I cannot, help the mistake that the delivery guy made. That's on him. Long story short, I get home. I noticed that there's police outside the compound, which is weird because that normally doesn't happen. Don't think anything of it because I ain't breaking the law. I get to my apartment. I'm putting my things down. I'm unpacking, which is weird because it normally takes me like a week to unpack, even if it's just a short staycation. But then I get a knock at my door. And my neighbor has two police at my door questioning me about her stolen packages. And in that moment, I could only hear my father's voice, Kendall, don't go to jail in no foreign country. And I felt so unsafe. Lots of things transpired, wanting to check my registration, who lives with you, why are you here? I cannot communicate in Chinese. My Chinese is minimal, right? I've learned enough to be able to get around, order food, have minimal conversation. I'm trying. But just the feeling of what is happening right here and why am I being targeted? It all came out. My IE, the wonderful lady that takes care of my home a few times a week, she cleaned up my place. She moved the item somewhere and I wasn't aware where it was. So once I identified that, I gave the lady her things and I slammed the door shut because I was really wound up. And I share part of that story. That's definitely not all of it. I share part of that story to just expound upon the levels of, I don't even know the word, what you just have to deal with. What do you choose to deal with? To what level can I not comply? Advice was given to me that I need to be compliant with the police, right? Because I'm not in America. I'm in a foreign country, and I followed, the advice. I complied, showed the things that I need to show. I don't have anything to hide. But in that moment, I felt so small. I felt so unprotected. I felt just a bit put in my place because the woman knew that I had the items, didn't take them. They were placed, at my door with my other packages. It was an honest mistake. I let her know when I get home, I'll give them to you. I guess she wasn't happy with my timing. Um, and so, as a show of force, I guess, whatever power she wields, which clearly she did, the police were called. And I just feel like the situation could have escalated so badly because they were threatening to take me to the police station because I couldn't find the shoes, the items that the lady had ordered, or at least one item I found because my IE washed it and I gave it to her. But I say all of this to say, before you make a decision about living abroad, engaging in the nomad life, you know, digitally exploring the world, I really want you to consider and do your research about anti Black sentiments in the countries that you're moving to, or affinity for all cultures to, in the country that you're selecting to be a temporary home for you. Because this type of race based stress can be detrimental for your mental health, for the way that you connect with others, for how you perform whatever responsibilities and roles that you've set out to do in this foreign country. It can really disrupt your ability to feel safe and to thrive and to live the type of life that you've taken the leap of faith to live with this decision. So I've experienced several difficult moments as a single Black woman living in Beijing. And honestly, every woman, single or not, that I've interviewed has a similar sentiment, maybe not completely the same, but similar about, their experience in China. We can't change hundreds of years of culture, but we can decide, is this a place that we want to thrive? If not, where else in the world would be more in alignment with the life that we're seeking? You know, um, and how do I take care of myself? How do we take care of ourselves when we're here dealing with these types of stressful situations? And so, some tips I have when it comes to the race based stress part is: are there any affinity groups that you can connect with in the in the country that you've chosen to reside temporarily? Meetups. I know I have friends in Portugal, people that I really care about, that I've met, that I've interviewed on the show, that I can't wait to meet in person. And I see things that they do all the time, the Black in Portugal, things that Margot does, things that Shar does. I don't want to miss anyone. But there's such a sense of community there. And if you've watched any of the episodes of my show, then you know that community building and collectivism is a really entrenched theme of what we talk about as Black people living abroad. It's key that you build your chosen family abroad, your community that helps to support you on your best days and on your most challenging. And I can say that I struggle with that here. A lot of my closest friends have moved away, gone to other countries, moved back to the US. And so it's kind of having to kind of turn over um, expectations and identify connections, not in a transactional manner, not like what can I get from you, but because I don't, want to feel lonely in this country, which I often do. It is, how do I connect with good people, aligned people that can help me live the type of life that I'm seeking while I'm still here. And so, if you find yourself in these positions, definitely communicate with either the company that you're working with or legal department if you find yourself in difficult situations like the one I just described, or other individuals. Maybe if you have local friends, what's recourses that you can do, what are other activities and groups that you can join to kind of help lessen the feelings of isolation and solitude. Be up on your research. Really research the place that you're moving before you move there, so that you can get a good feel. If you can connect with someone or speak with someone that resides there, knowing that everybody's situation and experience will be different. But that's one of the reasons, and I'm going to pub Shar's app, the Expat app, that I love the app, because you have so many different perspectives of individuals from all over the world that live in these different places, that have visited these different places, that can give you wealth of knowledge. I'm also attending the Exodus Summit in a few days to give you just more information on what does it look like to finance your life as you move to a chosen country. So that was just one of the things. I'm phenomenally Black, and obviously I hate racism. And it is a really big consideration that I want everyone to take when you are choosing where to temporarily live your life. And this really is in alignment with mental health. How are you going to take care of yourself when you face these difficult moments? What will you do? Are you in therapy? Is there someone professional, licensed, that you can speak with? I'm always a proponent of a licensed mental health clinician. I will leave it at that. You know, are you part of support groups that help you to kind of process the things that you're experiencing mental health wise? If you are taking medication to help manage your symptoms, do you have the medication that you need? Have you been able to align yourself or connect with resources in the country that you're living in that will keep you on top of your medication management? There's so many considerations to make when it comes to mental health. One of the most important is community, right? Connection is a protective factor that helps to reduce, symptoms of anxiety and depression, race-based stress and trauma. So I want you to consider that as you hear me talking about this. And then I'll talk about my birthday. I need some happiness right here, right? So I just turned 41, and birthdays are always, not always, since I've been 18, they have been a time filled with conflicting emotions. But I'm grateful for God giving me the gift of life to see another year, to continue to live out the mission that's been granted upon my life, because I definitely believe there is one. But one of the things that I noticed about this year that was different was my intention. I expressly have the intention of enjoying myself. And what that meant was not waiting to the last minute to like make a plan to do something, because I tend to do that. That self-sabotage can be, although I'm a clinician, that self-sabotage can be strong when it comes to things that make me feel uneasy. That's a constant work in progress. And so I was blessed to be able to, spend my actual birthday with, new friends, people that have chose to show me that they care, to see me, right, to celebrate me. Sometimes that's hard for me to accept. Had a painting night the night of my birthday. I had a brunch a few days prior to my birthday. And one of the things that I realized was the people that want to show up for you will always show up for you. You don't have to beg anybody. You don't have to plead. You don't have to coerce anyone that really wants to be a part of your life to be a part of your life. And that's still something that I'm kind of marinating on and meditating on, because I experienced a bit of disappointment about those who did not show up. But then when you think about it, everybody does, have their own lives to live and things going on. But again, those that want to make time for you will make time for you. And I'm curious, what do your celebrations look like in the countries that you've chosen? How are you spending time with those good people that you've allowed into your life to celebrate you, to grow through life with, to enhance your expat experience? What does that look like for you? Is anybody's birthday on September 26th like mine? And how do you allow yourself to prepare for the bounty that is waiting for you for this next year of life? For those who are everybody's turning a year older this year, right? What does that look like for you if you're living in a different country? What type of rituals, celebrations, activities have you historically engaged in? Are you doing this year? I'm so curious to find out, because I'm always open for ideas and stuff, right? But this 41st year of life just feels different. It's been ushered in a healthier, more positive way. And I'm excited for what it has to bring and what it means for me. Because I know that I'm not going to be in China forever. I give myself 2 years max, trying to be intentional money wise, relationship wise, business decision wise, and work on the mindsets that block my success. So, really wanting this year to be filled with intention, growth, opportunity, not just for myself, but for other people, to make it more of what I want it to be, right? And just to be able to celebrate myself on a consistent basis doesn't really have to do anything with like gifts and parties. I'm really not a party lady like I used to be. Got to maintain this youthful glow. um, but what does that look like? I just feel it's so interesting because one of the guys that I work with, his name is Andrew. I love him. He's really sweet. His wife is amazing too. Really talented engineer. And they were doing a presentation for my high school staff, and they were talking about the design process. I need to write this down because my brain is flowing in this moment, right? They were talking about the design process. And one of the key aspects is, you have your initial design. But how do I spell iterations? I used to be an English teacher. But your initial plan is not your final plan. You will make improvements, you will have enhancements, you will remove things as you go through the different iterations of whatever it is that you are creating, right? That is the process of design and development. And it makes me think about, as we age, as we hopefully mature, because age does not necessarily equate maturity. As we mature, I consider each year to be a different iteration. Still the foundation and the base, the same spirit, the same character, but a more evolved, better developed version of yourself, right? And as I'm sitting here thinking about this, I'm supposed to do like a women's empowerment speech in a few weeks. And it's really been having me think about permission, right? Permission to thrive, permission to give yourself to be, to do the things that you may have struggled with before. And iterations just keeps coming up. And I am curious to know, this is rhetorical, obviously, because you're not here talking to me. What does this iteration of your life look like? What is this version, this iteration of the design process of yourself look like in this moment? If you had to define it, describe it, who would you describe yourself to be on this iteration of your life? My 41st iteration, right? I would definitely say that I'm definitely more aware. My theme song for my 41st year is Beyonce's, well, hell, the old album, honestly. But if I had to pick a song, it would be Cozy. Comfortable in my skin, cozy with who I am. Cozy, right? So I'll say two. Cozy and I'm that girl. If I don't believe it, who else will? If you don't believe in this iteration of yourself, who else will? Right? And so having that confidence, having that mental fortitude, understanding that with maturity comes growing pains to help you to make these difficult decisions to move abroad, to help you to give yourself the gift of therapy and taking care of your mental health, to help you overcome and have the fortitude to deal with difficult stuff that happens to you when you're living your best Black expat life, in all your phenomenal Blackness, right? I want you to really think about that. What does this iteration of yourself look like, feel like, sound like? What's the hope that you have? Everything I talk about is going to have a mental health spin, and I'm not going to be in here too much longer. I just have all the feels right now because so much has been happening in the last few weeks that it frightens me. And I don't mean bad things. I mean, like, my therapist and we talk a lot about, and I think I even mentioned this on a conversation I had with Adelia, like the fear of success can be hella scary because the thing that I have to do to get that success, I have to do more to keep it, right? To attain it is one thing, to be persistent with it is another. It takes a whole nother iteration of your mindset and your belief system and your ability to buckle down and stay focused. All of these things, the mental fortitude that it takes, is a mental health thing. And I want you to give yourself the gift of taking care of your mental health and wellness, even if it's something foreign to you. If you need to leave me a message about resources, I'm actually creating a resource for expats abroad, on how to identify, connect with, solicit appropriate resources either in your home country or, back, or your host country back home. Because it's really important for us as we thrive to break these chains of taking care of ourselves. Maybe our family members didn't have the resources, the name for what the things are that they were feeling, the support to take that leap, the time to be still and be one with how they feel and pay attention to that, or or the structure, the ecological system to feel safe enough to do something different. But our ancestors have given us the gift of strength and wisdom and fortitude to be able to be at this point, living our lives in another country, taking care of our mental health, going out there, securing the bag to grow and fund our dreams and the dreams of other people. So I want you to be really intentional. If you don't hear anything else I say today, because I'm going to end this in a few minutes, be intentional when it comes to taking care of your mental health. We deserve the right to thrive abroad. We deserve the right to thrive everywhere. So how do you take care of this iteration of yourself? I'm literally going to use this word for the whole year. It might be my word of the year. Because it just does something to me. This iteration of me is what? What is this iteration of you? I just turned 41, like I said. I'm learning to celebrate the little things, the small moments, the big moments, the difficult moments. Be grateful for those because it just means that I'm pushing myself. So, how do you reframe the things that you are experiencing to allow them to fortify you to keep going? I'm not trying to preach, right? I just, at the suggestion of my friend, thank you, Rodney, wanted to come in and just share. I'm just talking. Thank you for the person that has logged in, right? This is more so about putting more of myself out there. Someone did make a comment about my podcast is too me facing, which I think that's interesting. But I'm always seeking more, amazing Black expats to come share their story, share the genesis of your journey, help us understand what does it mean to be mentally well and thriving? What does that look like for you? How do you give somebody else permission through your experience to take that leap? And how do you build community that's going to help you live your best, most authentic and healthy life in your host countries? I know that my time in Beijing is wearing down, right? It's coming to an end. And again, I want to create a space for us to be able to be in safety, in connection, in honesty, in truth, and in wellness, and mental wellness especially. So just a tidbit, I am working on a small resource to help you whenever you are making this journey abroad, or if you're already there, helping you to identify how do you take care of yourself? What does that look like? What does it look like to kind of be faltering a bit? And how do you get back up on that horse of health? I will hopefully have that ready, the link for that ready in the next few days. Please, go to the website, aspirecounselingwell.com, subscribe to our community, subscribe to the channel. We're always looking to grow our audience and again, connect with other like-minded Black expats, nomads, study abroad students that can share their story and help unlock healing for our fellow, members of the world, global members of the community. And join us on Instagram at Black Expat Experience and follow us on Twitter at Black Expat Lives. I hope that you continue to be phenomenally Black. And yeah, stay tuned. Obviously, you know that I do the affirmations every week, post them, do a video for them. We post our episodes, Black Expat Experience episodes every other Friday. I'm trying to have more balance in my life. I got to, live what I preach. And I'm just grateful for everyone that has connected, that has found value in the stories that we share. Um, and I hope that you continue to ride with us, support us, buy from us, tell other people about us so that we can grow our audience, and spread the message that we deserve to thrive abundantly everywhere. And that the way to do that, or one of the best ways to do that, is to prioritize your mental health. Um, I love the opportunity that has been provided in this way of connecting with you all. So I am going to sign off now. I wanted to limit myself to 30 minutes because I can go on and on. But I hope that you all are doing well. And I'll leave you with this question: what does this iteration of your life look like? And how will you continue to thrive abundantly? With that, I'm going to end this stream. I thank you again. And please leave your constructive feedback. Have an outstanding day. Bye.